I'm going to show you something that was a complete brain melter for me when I first understood how it worked. There's a device on a thermostat called a heat anticipator. Whoever came up with this was an absolute genius, especially because it's been around for well over 50 years and is still used today. Basically, the idea is that when you have a thermostat and it's set to a specific temperature, for example, let's say 70 degrees Fahrenheit, when a furnace is firing, it gets very hot. Crazy, right? Who would have thought? But then once the temperature reaches 70 degrees, the furnace shuts off, but because the fan motor has to cool down the still very hot combustion chamber, the fan motor will continue to run and push heat through the house for an extra couple of minutes. Quite often this will result in the house warming up an extra couple of degrees Fahrenheit to roughly around 72 degrees. Because this results in wasted gas and wasted heat, someone came up with a brilliant idea to have what's called the heat anticipator. This is a small, thin wire that is placed relatively close to a bimetallic coil inside the thermostat, and depending on the amount of current or amperage that you allow through that wire by setting a small gauge near the side of that bimetallic coil, it will heat up that small thin wire when the thermostat is calling for heat, so that it will actually add just the slightest amount of extra heat inside that thermostat so as to prematurely disengage the bimetallic coil 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit before the thermostat actually reaches that point, so that it can anticipate that the furnace now has finished the heating cycle but still has to get rid of the excess heat from the combustion chamber, and it will time it just right so that if you set the temperature to 70 degrees Fahrenheit, it will shut off around 68 degrees Fahrenheit and continue to run the blower motor for another 1 to 2 degrees so that it will perfectly heat up the house to exactly the desired temperature. And that is why it is called a heat anticipator, because it anticipates exactly the amount of heat that's going to be required to meet the desired temperature for your thermostat. Please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.